Glug glug?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Solar System, where we help you understand the system your soul goes into. This is Moon Days with Michael. I'm your host of World Triangle, Michael, and I am cutting out the esoteric middleman and giving you guys the tools you need to connect yourself right to the source. We are finishing up the masterclass of the Orion constellation temporarily, because I'm sure I'll find some other video to make about this in the future. It's my own constellation after all. I would hope I would. Yeah, the last star in this constellation. So yeah, I mean, been a long journey talking about this constellation, and we do have another constellation coming up. Stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out which one it's going to be, because it's probably going to surprise you, because it surprised me too. It didn't really surprise me. I knew it was coming. But yeah, so in this episode, the last installment of the Orion constellation for now. Remember that, for now. I'm sure I'll make a video later. We are talking about Yuh Tsing, or Tsang. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how to pronounce this one. Tau Orionis is the astronomical scientific name if you want to go from the left brain perspective, but whatever, I don't care, it's a star. Who needs names when you can freaking meditate and figure it out? With that being said, you guys know the drill by this point. We are talking about its freaking physical placement, its orb, its influences, its natures, its fortune, giving you the general understanding of what it means to have this in your chart. And with that being said, let's hop into it. This star can be found at around 18 degrees of Gemini at this time, with an orb of about 150. It has the nature of Mars and Mercury, which we'll get into. In order to understand its natures, you have to understand where it's physically placed inside of the Orion constellation, and it is the left shin of the Orion constellation, right? It's a little bit above rigel. Now, with that being said, what are the shins? The shins represent the 11th house. You know, your hopes, your wishes, your social life, your friends, your networking, right? And is the shin of the Orion constellation. So if you think about that, what exactly does this mean? And to understand this energy, you have to understand the shin, right? We try to break down every star's placement physically and spiritually. So with that being said, this star's influence has to do with stability as well as growth and foundations, right? Not foundations as in laying the foundations, more so foundations in the importance of having a foundation, right? And importance of actually understanding what your focus is, okay? With that being said, how do we move from place to place, right? While we might be running and walking with our feet and our legs, it is the shins that have to remain stable. Who's ever had shin splints, right? You might be able to walk and run faster than anybody else in school, but if your shins are hurting, you're not moving. With that being said, this is generally the archetype of a star being placed here, right? It has the influence of stability, confidence, as well as foundations. You need to know yourself, know that you have done the groundwork, know that you have laid the foundations, know that the base you're sitting on, the base you're standing on, is made in a very strong, stable foundation to take any of the abuse that you're about to hand to it, right? If you're building a company or start trying to build a whatever the heck it is, whatever mission, whatever thing you're focusing on, right? If you try to build that and run with it on a very shitty foundation, a foundation that isn't stable, isn't strong, isn't grounded enough, that foundation is going to crumble, right? And when you're in the hunter constellation, literally going around hunting and killing for not only food, if your foundation isn't strong, if your beliefs and your networking isn't strong enough to get you from hunt to hunt, from job to job, from person to person, then what's the point of you actually going ahead and trying to carry out this mission in the first place? And this brings us into the star's fortune, right? If you're not strong and grounded and have a foundation for the mission that you're carrying out, you running through the woods, no matter how fast and strong you might be, if your freaking shin starts hurting, you're gonna stop. If your shins cannot actively carry your feet to your thigh, to your knees, then you're not making it far. You're gonna have to be crawling every way you go, right? And this is the importance of actually having a foundation and a structure system and actually understanding what your beliefs and perspective is, but also more importantly, understanding the situations and circumstances that you get yourself into, your surroundings, the friends you're with, the networks you built for yourself, right? If any of these things are lacking, then the star's influence isn't going to be very useful to you. It will be useful to you in the way that you now know that something has to change, something has to grow and heal in order for you to actually go ahead and start running and carrying out your mission through your perspective. If this is lacking, you're not going to get very far in the first place. And that's the fortune. Know yourself and you shall succeed. If not, your enemies will find a way to break you down with a freaking toothpick. And this kind of has to do with the whole influence of Mars and Saturn, right? As well as a little bit of the Mercury influence, right? Not only do you have to have your motivations and your passions set straight and have a strong foundation, but the network that you surround yourselves in, right? You have to be good at communicating. You have to be very good at explaining why you do what you do in order to gain a following, right? Building your social circle, building people who follow you and will help you build what you want to build, right? Which is where the influence of Mercury and Saturn kind of come into play. I have to show them how I see reality, but I also have to explain it in a way that's going to make them come on board, right? And that's all about showing them what my passions are. So, with that being said, recap time. This star can be found in around 1750-ish degrees of Gemini, and has an orbit of about 150 with the nature of Mars, Mercury, and Saturn. And its fortune, well, for the most part, it's pretty fortunate, right? Because either you're going to actually succeed and take off with the foundations that you've laid and the passions and mission you're chasing. On the other hand, though, you're going to find out what's not working. And either way, it's a win-win as long as you use it right and as long as you figure out what's not working and you work to make it work. There you go. So, with that being said, this concludes the Orion constellation for now. I'm sure I'll make a video about this later in the future, but if you stuck around this far to the video, you get a little sneak peek on what's coming. The next constellation in our constellational breakdown series is going to be Draco. I was kind of upset when I heard about it. Honestly, I thought it was going to be something different. The only reason why I think it was going to be something different was because I thought Draco was too predictable, you know? I don't know why. Something about a giant snake that wraps around the North Pole just seemed too predictable to me. Anyway, guys, with that being said, you guys know the drill at this point. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Instagram, solar systems, and for the reels, daily alignments. Breaking down every day's energy, every day on the daily. And there's a little something we've been working on right there. Can't exactly tell you when it's coming out, because I don't really know yet. But Leo season's going to have a lot of things coming to light. And as always, you know, if you guys like to request a natal reading of any kind, email us down below, readings@solarsystem.org. Yeah, until next time when I'm talking about the Draco constellation or some random other video that I haven't thought of yet. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and bye, y'all.